All right, guys, excellent job. We've made it this far. We've turned the power on. We've heard our tones. We've checked our multimeter. We've made sure there's no shorts, and we would have known once we turned it on. And we've got everything bound and ready to go. So now it's time to get into BetaFlight. And this is where we're going to program the drone. Now, if you have not used BetaFlight before, or you don't have it installed on your computer and you're doing this at home or in a classroom that doesn't have it yet, please watch our BetaFlight tutorial section. That's going to tell you exactly what you need to know to get ready for BetaFlight. I'm not going to go into that here. At this section, we're going to assume that you have your drivers loaded and you have BetaFlight loaded, okay, and you're ready to go, including and also BL Heli. So those three things you need to make sure of: your drivers, BL Heli, and BetaFlight. If you don't have those set, we have tutorials in this section on there. Please go watch those first on installing and configuring, then come back and continue here. For everybody else, let's get going. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my computer screen here, and I'm going to put the drone at the top, and there you go. So we are now in BetaFlight. I am going to move the picture of the drone down because I want you to be able to see the section up here for connecting and update, okay? The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need to make sure that you have, and I'll change the screens here, make sure that you have a USB data cable, micro USB data cable, not a charging cable. You have to have a data cable or else you will not be able to use this next section and program your drone. So any kind of Android device or anything that usually can plug into the computer or do updates on a phone or anything, usually will have a data cable. Make sure it's a data cable, okay? So let's go ahead and get back now. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to plug this into our drone, and we're going to hear Windows recognize that there's a drone. And what I want you to do is look at the top right of the screen. This, where it says manual selection, is going to change as soon as we do this. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. And here we go. I'm going to plug this in, and you're going to see the drone light up a little bit. There we go. Just like that. Okay. There's Windows recognizing it's plugged in, and you can see our port at the top here. It says COM88. Okay. If you are having a problem and you don't see this and your COM port doesn't come up, let me just show you something real quickly, but I'm not going to get into this too much. I'm going to go to my control panel. Okay. So let me type control, hit enter. I'm going to go to my device manager here. And what I want you to see is you should have under COM ports, you should have STM Electronics Virtual COM port, okay? If you don't have that, then what you need to do is you need to go, you'll see on BetaFlight right here. If you need the STM drivers, you need to click this driver, follow the instructions, download it, and then once it's done installing, put your flight controller back in and you will see that. Again, we have a whole section on that, so I'm not going to get into it too much, just to let you know. So what I want to do now, first step, connect, okay? When you connect, you're going to see a drone on your screen right here. You should see one, right? And what I want you to do before you do anything else is I want you to make sure that your drone is facing away from you. Make sure there's never any propellers on here, by the way. And I want you to hit Reset Z-Axis, okay? And then I want you to click Calibrate Accelerometer, okay? What we told it is our drone is facing forward, therefore this is the front of our drone up here, and that it's sitting on a flat surface. Now, take from your back motors, just grab the back motors and pitch the drone up, and you should see the drone on the screen mimic your drone. Okay, that's how you know it's configured properly and orientation is properly done. So then you can pitch it back, you can roll left, you can roll right, and then you can yaw these directions just to make sure. Once you're set, if everything looks good and it mimics you perfectly, mirrors what you're doing, go ahead and just recalibrate again just to tell it it's flat. All right, that's how you know you're set up. Okay, you go crazy, it goes crazy, you know it's wired properly. All right, the next thing is going to be the ports tab. This is where we're going to set all of our configurations for your receiver and for your audio and everything else. However, before we do anything, we want to scroll down to where it says CLI. Okay, oh, you can't see that. Hold on one second. Let me show you. Let me move this picture out of the way. I'll put it in the top. I'm going to put it in the bottom right. 1 second. Let's do that. Okay, so look at this here. See where that CLI is on the bottom here? Okay, you're going to click that. So click it. Very important. You keep a pen and paper right now, or find a way to make notes, because here's what you're going to do. In CLI, when you're in the CLI, you're going to see this black screen. The text may look a little different, but you'll be on this black screen here. Come over to this text area where it says write your command. All I want you to do is I want you to write the word version. Okay, VERSION, and hit enter. Okay, the version you have is 4.2 point whatever, and it's done in June 14th, 2020. That's a very old version. We need to go ahead and change it. Now keep in mind that you're running an STM32F405. Just pay attention to that right there. That's the most important part, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to update the firmware to the newest version, okay? So we're going to do that, and then we'll stop this video, and then we'll come back with the next section. So to update the firmware, what we want to do is we want to go to this yellow box, or this yellow circle right here, and click Update Firmware. You're going to hear Windows restart like that, the driver restart, and you're going to have this drop-down menu right here, okay? Go down, and I want you, for this particular manufacturer, It's a 405 board. This is a JHE MCU. So I want you to go to the JHE F405. Locate that driver right there and click it. When it comes up, you're going to see the newest one is 4.2.9. You had 4.2.0, at least I did. Okay, this one came out on April 27th, 2021. So make sure everything is just like this. No boot sequence should be off. Full chip erase should be on. Manual baud rate should be off. JHEF 405, and then whatever the newest one is. If you look at this right here, it's the newest one. And make sure you do not have this on show unstable releases. Okay, you don't want that. All right. Now let me move this out of the way again. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the picture of the drone back up here in this right corner. We understand that the connect button is here, so when I say connect, you may not see it anymore because the drone's going to be there, but just please understand that that's how we connect to BetaFlight, okay? So let me go ahead and bring that back over. Right here, we're going to click, once we have this, we're going to click Load Firmware Online. And now that it's ready to load, you see where it says Flash Firmware. That just came up. Go ahead and click that. Windows is going to automatically put this in DFU mode. Here's where you're going to know if you have the wrong driver as well. If you can't get into DFU mode, we have a tutorial on that as well. There's a special process if your computer doesn't have the correct DFU drivers, okay? If the rest of you that do have it, you should see the letters DFU in the top here, where the port would be, and you should see it saying erasing and flashing. So it's going to put the new firmware on, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to log back in when this is done. We're going to check in the CLI by typing version again and making sure that we have the update, and that's where we'll stop the video, and then we'll start coming back and setting up the ports and the configuration and the motors and everything else. Okay. So let's just give it a second. This doesn't take very long. Okay, once we hear that beep, now the DFU letters are gone and we should have our port back. And it says port 88. Now watch what happens when you connect though. I'm going to click connect, and remember that's the button behind my drone here in the top right corner. Click connect, and you're going to get a message, a notice, that you want to apply custom defaults because this is a new firmware. Go ahead and click apply custom defaults. It's going to disconnect and reconnect again. The COM port comes up, click connect again, and you're going to have a warning, and it's going to tell you there's no output protocol selected for your motors. We're going to fix that. So let's just go ahead and click close. Here's your drone again. Go ahead and click your reset your Z-axis. Click calibrate your accelerometer. And to get rid of that warning that we had just now pop up, go to configuration right here. Come over here to disabled. And I want you to drop, and I want you to go to one shot 125. This can fly another protocol, D-Shot 600, but for the purpose of this being a drone, an intro drone, or a drone with tutorials, we're going to do 125, and there's reasons behind that I'll explain later. Select one shot 125 right here. Make sure that everything else matches 1070, 2000, 1000. Okay. And we're going to turn off, on the left-hand side, turn off magnetometer and barometer and click save and reboot. Now your error message should be gone. When we connect now, you have no more error messages, okay? So the last thing we want to do is just check our version is loaded, and then we can stop this particular part and go to the next part. Click to your CLI, go into your text box here at the bottom and type the word version and hit enter. And what you can see now is we have 4.2.9, April 27th, and here's everything that we needed to know. Okay, so this is perfect right here. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and move this one time. Let me move this out of the way over to here. There we go. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go to our disconnect button, just like that. Okay, and we're going to pretty much stop right there, guys. We're going to come back and we're going to continue with the BetaFlight configuration here next. So get ready, and I'll see you guys in just a minute.